goes in.
Clear, head lane's clear, watch pit speed, make sure your sliders turned off.
Okay, nice work, Jamie, nice work, mate. Cold rear tyres, we've got to get out and maximise. Great job, mate.
Crew chief was Kevin May, and then Mark Dutton was the second voice you heard, engineer. And just the reminder to the driver that your rear tyres are cold, they're down on pressure and temperature, so you've just got to mind that. Where does he slot in? He hangs on to third. Murphy's on fire. Good pace from Greg Murphy, and he showed some great speed so far this weekend on occasion.
So of those yet to pit, Stephen Richards is in first position from Will Davison, Jason Richards, Owen, Scaife, Winterbottom, Jason Bright, Simon Wills, Jack Perkins. And there's Jamie Whincup in 10th. Don't forget BigPondSport.com for your V8 Supercar. It's live and on demand. Track pretty much any sport you want. Alan Gurr in the Irwin Tools car. And here's some problems for Stephen Richards in pit lane, and I think he's hit the wall. He has.
Quite an extraordinary situation, hard on the anchors, and they come from quite a big terminal speed. Lock the rears, turn the car hard right into the cement wall. The right front is damaged.
That's bizarre.
Must have tagged the end of the tyre wall down there in the process, and that's going to murder his race, Stephen Richards. Got the slide hammer to just try and bend that bracket back.
So this is on the entry into pit lane. So what's he done? He's just come in too hard, locked it up, and actually hit the gate there.
Yeah. Very strange.
It's weird.
Very unusual.
In any case, he's back out there, but no more luck for the BOC. Car number 14 of Simon Wills already. Andrew Jones is out. And Simon's car is simply skating along now.
Broken something in the rear, probably same as the sister car. I'd say he's rubbed it up against the wall. He's broken that bolt that we looked at Bathurst a couple of weeks ago. Scapes up to third. They're going to pin him this lap, though. This man's the corrected leader of the race. Garth is down in 9th. Let's see if this picture tells the story, and you'll see he whacks the wall, turn 4 onto the back straight, not only a little bit, but a lot, and that has broken the rear suspension in the car.
He's tagged the Will Power WPS corner. Will left his mark earlier there on his way to pole for the champ car.
Did you see Craig Lowndes that time through turn 8? He was only a whisker away from the wall on the exit there as well. That's the game you play on this street circuit. Jason Richards is the new leader of the race. Mark Winterbottom is up to second as Mark Scaife, who was third, peels off. Very confused about the Stephen Richards thing because it went on for so long and then ended up stopping and not releasing the brakes, so I'm very puzzled by that.
Car number 50 of Steve Owen. Direction 55 of Steve Owen, and Tony D'Alberto did such a great job at Bathurst. 6th, here's Scaife, looking for the overall round victory that he's yet to tick off. He's had a race win here at Surface. Twice he's finished 2nd overall. Not too many tracks around Australia that Scaife, with 38 round wins, hasn't put one next to his name.
Richo was just on the radio trying to explain how the car is now feeling to the crew. He said there's no problems at the moment, but still the team are miffed as to what actually happened. Richo didn't even get on the radio and explain what happened himself. It was only that Tooley, the car controller, saw it happen at the start, but just from my eye, I saw him come in. He came in very hot and it looked like the rears just locked and he snapped sideways and couldn't get it back.
Yeah, he's confirmed that it was just his fault, and Phil Keane said, yep, mate, no problem, understand. So it's just one of those things. I think Granny's arrived a few Ks too quick and just slid into the wall. A very unusual set of circumstances. Jason Richards got a 9-second margin over Mark Winterbottom. Jason Bright is third. And car number 55, Steve Owen, is going to get a pit lane drive-through penalty for a pit lane infringement. He's down in 11th at the moment. Jason Richards, Mark Winterbottom, Jason Bright yet to stop. And the first of those that have stopped, the corrected leader of the race, car 16, Garth Tander, he's fourth.
Yeah, nice work, mate. Just have a think about that break, guys. You've got 16 laps to go.
Steve Henderson talking to Greg Murphy.
There's a new lap record posted by Jamie Whincup, 150.46. The top three on our red v blue leaderboard, Richards, Winterbottom and Bright, are yet to pit. So our corrected race leader will be Garth Tander. Well, the shadows are getting longer here. Saturday race day for the V8 Supercars. Don't forget, 2 more races to come. The V8 Challenge tomorrow, and of course, the Lexmark Indy 300. And worthwhile highlighting this man coming in out of turn 8, Greg Murphy's done a terrific job. He started in 8th position. When this is corrected, Neil, he'll be in 4th, ahead of Russell Ingall and James Courtney, behind Tander, Lowndes and Whincup, who's the fastest man on the circuit at the moment.
The other team playing the strategy game is Brightech. Look to bring Jason Bright in the very last minute of this compulsory stop window.
Wow, Jamie Whincup's just further lowered the lap record to a 149.9. He's on fire. That's very, very quick. And he's continued to punch out fast sector times and better lap times lap after lap.
Coming off a 4th placing, of course, the leading Holden at Bathurst for Murph and Jason Richards. And there's a couple of guys in this field, and they're right there on the road in front of each other, Murph and then Ingall. Between them, they've got 8 race wins on this circuit.
Well, Greg Murphy just having a wonderful day today. It was his pit stop that did it. They had a lightning stop in the Tasman team, and they made up about 3 places for Greg Murphy, but he is delighted with the car. He's calling into Jeff Gretsch and just telling him that everything going very well, and they are about to stop Jason Richards. They'll bring him in the next lap, guys.
Jack Daniels Racing cars of Jack Perkins and Shane Price in 19th and 20th, although Race Control has just issued a bad sportsmanship flag to Shane Price for hitting those tyre bundles and aggressively hitting the curbs, so Shane will need to just be careful of that. The team will advise him of it.
112 championship starts for Jason Bright.
8.5 second margin, Jason Richards to Mark Winterbottom, so Winterbottom continues that very strong march. Now Richards peels off.
Your rear bar, mate. Soften off your front a little bit.
Jamie Whincup continues to get good encouragement out of his Team Vodafone crew. Nice clean laps, as Neil mentioned, lowered his own lap record to a 149.9 now. Richards rejoins behind Stephen Johnson.
Winterbottom's got the lead of the race by 4.9 seconds over Jason Bright. They're the only 2 drivers that haven't stopped, and they'll play it right to the end of the strategy window. Compulsory pit stop window for them will close on lap number 19. They're on lap 15 at the moment. Winterbottom's been talking about some brake issues. There are certainly some cars in the field this weekend that are using... Whoa, trouble here for Paul Dumbrell. Nearly clobbered that turn 8 wall, and that's been a popular wall to hit in the over the years. just, I'd say, probably blindsided a little bit and then got on the dirty part of the racetrack. And when you go offline here, it's absolutely no grip. Pretty nice recovery in many respects, but he'll still be pretty cranky with himself for that. A lot of people using water misting in their brake duct system to try and keep some of the temperature out here this weekend, and I've heard different people getting looked at for fluid leaks in and around their cars, and I'd suggest that some of it is because they're carrying additional water in the cars at the moment.
Pretty good dice going on here between Murphy and Ingle. On corrected, they'll be 4th and 5th. On the road, they're 6th and 7th because Winterbottom and Bright, the two out in front, yet to pit.
Gee, it's on here. These guys are having a really good battle. And I spent some time with Greg last night, and he's back on all 8 cylinders. And he's all pumped up and excited about the fact that his car's racing again and he's in the groove.
So the V8 Supercar Challenge on lap 16. Mark Winterbottom yet to pit, trying to work his way through this field. There's been a change in the order of the Team Vodafone cars. Jamie Whincup snuck ahead of his teammate. This is how it happened. Out of turn 3, the Zinger replay. Whincup takes a dive on the inside at 4 and pushes away up the Esplanade. So on corrected times, on corrected order, that will mean that Whincup will be second behind Garth Tander.
Stephen Richards is hunting through the field again now. He's 21st, but has done a very fast sector split to the end of the first sector. I think Triple Eight would have asked Craig to just sit up high there at turn 4 or just make space somewhere, because Whincup is very, very quick at the moment.
Just trying to figure out where people truly sit on corrected time, Neil. He's actually such a black art, as you know. I'm just going to show you a piece of equipment that these propeller heads use in here to try and make sense of it all. This is a piece of data they call like a lap predictor, right sitting in front of Clinton here, who's Frosty's mechanic, as we try and figure out, his engineer, as we try and figure out where Mark Winterbottom will come out. There's a yellow line at the top where Mark currently is. That's first position. Down below that, there is a pink line, as I lean over his shoulder here to try and show you. That pink line there is where he could come out once they deduct the amount of time to go down pit lane and service the car, which happens to be about 15th position, right behind Will Davison. Using that technology, they have a rough idea when the best time to bring him in is and where he might just come out.
Yes, they're taking live data, timing stream and feed from all the cars and the timing system here, and they know exactly what everybody's doing and where they are on the road and their own speed.
And a wise move by Team Vodafone to let Jamie Whincup loose, because he's heading towards another fastest lap. Scaife and Holdsworth, 15th and 16th.
Lots of people being warned and getting the bad sportsmanship flag for touching the tyre bundles on the apex of a variety of corners around here at the moment. It's a popular thing at this racetrack, has always been. Jason Richards has been warned. And they're going to bring Winterbottom in this lap. He's got a 3.5 second lead over Jason Bright.
10 to go, mate. 10 laps, 2.5 seconds. Whincup to a top job.
And that's the voice of Matt Nilsson and a quick acknowledgement from Garth Tander.
Paul Morris' car is out of the race, boys. Brakes problems for the 67 machine. No matter how hard you wind it to the back, still wants to lock a wheel. Just on that with brakes, I was having a look at some of the data from the teams. It's amazing. Normally at a normal circuit without the concrete canyoning, you see the brakes get a chance to cool down to 450, maybe 500. They're always above 650 here at the Gold Coast Indy, and they jump to as high as 900. They really do copper pounding.
Very aggressive brake pedal pressures required around this racetrack on a number of places. Not a lot of recovery time, and after you've done a few laps around here, very quickly discover that it really hurts the friction performance of the brakes, even in the best of circumstances.
So Mark Winterbottom comes up through the VB chicane towards turn 8. He will pull in this lap. So as you see, he started 29th. He's pushed it up to first.
Jason Bright's going to pit this lap as well.
We'll see where he pops out in the order.
This goes to show how critical track position is. You give, what is it, 15 odd rows away at the start, and it's so very hard to recover in a quality field like this one. And Gurr has just nudged the wall at the exit of 12, and so that's the reason why I heard Jason Bright say that he wants to come in quickly just in case they get a safety car advantage.
Pentax Flycam finds Fujitsu Racer at Brighton. Now Winterbottom in.
Go. Off you go, mate. Off you go. Cross, you keep your slide off and just watch for skate here as you exit the pit.
Moves across to the Champ Car pit lane. So he will rejoin the race. Behind Mark Scaife. Behind Lee Holdsworth. So that will put Winterbottom in the queue at 16th.
Not a bad recovery, but it's very, very hard work for not a lot of yield. Even 16th, as you know, no points for that one, but he still might get a spot, who knows?
We heard that Brighty glanced the wall, absolutely right. The left-hand side of the car was scraped and there was a bit of damage to the left front wheel. The team didn't deem it damaged enough to change, just rears.
So a net gain for Mark Winterbottom of 13 positions over the first 19 laps.
And 3 championship contenders are in the first 3 spots: Garth Tander, Jamie Whincup and Craig Lowndes. The other championship contenders down in 8th at the moment, Rick Kelly. That's a pretty good recovery for Rick, and about where he hoped he might be able to be in this race to give him a fighting chance for races 2 and 3 tomorrow.
There's Bright back into it. Jack Perkins behind him. So Bright has come in 18th spot. Back on corrected order now. Garth Tander is our race leader. Jamie Whincup continues, though, to be the quickest man out there. We're back at the V8 Supercar Challenge. The Lexmark Indy 300. Good view of Stephen Richards scooting past the Jack Daniels entry.
He was right on the back of Jack Perkins going into 11 and 12, and Jack just made a tiny little mistake and got a little bit high passing the apex there. He locked the brakes slightly. Stephen was able to get up the inside. Jack was sliding off the corner and he made another spot. It was very spectacular stuff. Both trying extremely hard, and you look where they are and make that point again. They're 19th and 20th in the field, so wherever you look, they're squeezing.
Worth pointing out too that both Shane Price and Jack Perkins making their Gold Coast debuts. Shane Van Gisbergen the other. Owen Kelly as well returning to the championship for Team Cirame.
Garth Tander may be leading the race, but in a true professional's eyes, the job is never done. It is never perfect. The instruction has gone out that he needs to work on his first sector. That's probably the weakest part of his lap at the moment, and perhaps showing some sign that they are worried about Jamie Whincup's ability to chase him down.
First sector you speak of commences at the start-finish line, Grant, and takes you all the way to the exit of turn 4 on the Esplanade, where you start to head north on the back straight. Gives you an idea of the time loss and or gain between Garth Tander and Jamie Whincup.
That's why they're worried. Laps 17, 18 and 19 were good ones for Jamie, especially throughout the first 2 sectors, as Grant said. That's where they want Garth Tander to lift the game. This one keeps going.
How about these two blokes? They've just been absolutely standing toe-to-toe and boxing the living daylights out of each other for the last half an hour, and they'll be loving every second of it.
4th versus 5th. 2 men with a mountain of experience. Russell edging closer to his 150th championship start. Murph, 125 coming into this one.
Greg got obviously a fantastic in-lap, the pit lane processing of him, and then the out-lap, because as Stone Brothers said before, where did he come from? You know, he was 8th on the grid and he was racing pretty well at the start, but boy, didn't he play himself in at that pit stop phase, and that would have come as a surprise, particularly for Courtney, who was leading the race and now finds himself down in 6th.
There was just enough of a stutter from James Courtney's car when he went to pull out in the pit lane, probably, and that's when Murph came zipping on past. And that can make a hell of a difference, because all of a sudden you don't have that car in front of you.
Todd Kelly's got a problem with the steering in car number 22. He's 7th at the moment. Car 39, Owen Kelly, is going to get the bad sportsmanship flag for continually hitting the tyres in the fast chicane. So there's about half a dozen to 8 drivers so far that have been given that little wave of the flag.
Gives you a great idea of the gap between the race leader. Positions 1, 2 and 3 are fairly close, then there's a long way back. Effectively from turn 2 back to turn 1 is the difference between 3rd and 4th. The difference between Lowndes and Murphy, who has Ingle hot on his tail still.
Well, what's linkage problems, boys? Price is out. He's contacted the wall.
Shane Price, another victim.
And with 6 laps to go, Todd Kelly's been asked to make the decision as to whether the car's safe enough to bring home. He's got a power steering problem, and he'll have to wrestle at home. Not easy. If he has lost the power steering, you need to be Hercules to try and get the thing around for that number of laps. Bits of bodywork flying there, and you leap across the curbs and there's paint and plastic flying. Here's the thing I said before about the shadows.
Also gives you a good look at the kind of pressure that Jason Bright's putting on. Bargwanna's in front of him.
And Brighty's also making sure that Winterbottom doesn't breeze on by either. He's making sure that he's wide on the approach. So they're using a lot of curb there at turn 4. All of them just up and over the curb. Being able to get the shock absorbers, the dampers set in the cars for this racetrack is important. You've got to be able to hit those curbs, and for the shock absorber to move the oil and gas inside it quickly and blow off its hydraulic load so that the car soaks the bump and doesn't launch itself into the air. It's one of the keys to being able to get around here quickly. Otherwise the car ramps and flies, spends too long on 2 wheels, and the driver can't get on the throttle.
They're getting closer. The enforcer, look at him. Really wants to have a go now at Greg Murphy. 4th versus 5th. Still, Murphy holds on. The course of the last 4 laps, Ingles been faster over 3 of them. Garth Tander leads the race by 1.7 seconds from Jamie Whincup. Craig Lowndes is 3rd. Murphy goes past in 4th. There's Ingle in 5th. Courtney's behind him in 6th.
Todd Kelly is calling back into his team, reporting steering problems. They say it's a power steering issue they've got. They're trying to work out exactly what it is, but at the moment it remains a mystery. Looks like they may be about to bring him in.
Yeah, he says that he's having a lot of trouble controlling. He's got half a lock of steering on the car down the straights, and I think you'll find he's going to bring the car in. He's really battling with it, and you don't want to end up with a damaged car here, because you then not only have a problem at surface, but you're going to have a problem at Bahrain, because you'll sweep it into the truck in a pile of bits, and that'll only make your next weekend nasty as well.
Yeah, Neil, spot on. They've just made the decision. They're going to bring Todd Kelly straight back into the garage and work on it for another day.
So it's just eased up a little, the gap between these 2 guys at the moment. What have we got happening here? This is turn 12, and Bargwanna, Bright and Richo all getting into each other as a result of their close battle. Here it is again from the other angle. All of a sudden, Brighty has to back up, and Stephen Richards gets a whack on the snout for his trouble, and probably makes a spot here by the look of it. Or does he?
Bright
Wouldn't want to be on the
up.
outside down there at turn 1, and neither does Stephen Richards, as the case may be. So that was all of that. 30 seconds of aggravation, and all of a sudden it's all back as it was.
As they come past around this time, we'll find that Garth Tander has a 1.3 second lead now over Jamie Whincup. So Whincup's holding on for the final stages. The blue continues between Ingle and Murphy. The V8 Supercar Challenge on the streets of Surfers.
I can't believe
Garth Tander is our race leader with a 1.3 second margin, and Jason Bright has given the wall a whack on the exit of turn 1. He got it up on 2 wheels over those curbs that I was talking about, so he's got a bit of strife there at the moment. And I think they'll deploy the safety car because of the Jason Bright thing that I was talking about.
Yeah, they've done exactly that, Neil. He's been reporting on the radio just during the break that he's hit the wall. I've just got to make my way up to Brytech. I'll give you more when I'm okay. Led to believe Bridie's fine in the car at the moment.
Yeah, the car doesn't look too fine though. He launched across the curbing up onto 2 wheels, and the car flew, and he couldn't get it back down again, and it flew up into the wall. Bang, there it is. So huge damage, and that was after all that other aggravation the previous lap. See how the car just flew up in the air there, then it slid. Old Richo, that's a tyre that's come off a tyre bundle there. Stevie was lucky to survive all that. Here's the other angle.
He goes in so deep and he ends up, you can see Stephen Richards lock it, try and avoid it. He ended up copping one of those tyres for his trouble as well.
Well, that's just the thing, boys. He actually hasn't survived this one. He is complaining of some suspension damage, and the team have got 4 new tyres waiting for him in pit lane. They're expecting him in to have a look.
The whole stack of them ended up on the track there.
And that's the...
Look, I could drive it around, but who knows when it may break proper.
Yeah, so he's got a drama, Stephen Richards.
I mean, looking at that hit, I think it's more likely it's just the steering arm. And, I think we've got the safety car to monitor it. There's a chance. Okay, no, we can see it now. Okay, look, mate, the safety car, we'll see if we can... this brake and top arm, mate. Listen, if we can hold this position, I think you should stay up for one more lap, mate. You can hold this position under the...
No, bad call that one.
Okay, you want me to drive through?
The front left-hand thing, it's broken an arm.
There's no point now, mate.
He's out of the points.
And now that they can see it a little bit closer, and you're dead right, he's out of the points, so there's not much point on staying out there.
He's trying to get a better grid position for tomorrow, but that's got something substantial broken underneath it.
We're going to take a break while the WPS safety car takes us around. We'll have a restart after this. In typical Gold Coast fashion, the field has been battered and bruised. And soon those remaining will be left to fire out as Todd Kelly sits out the rest of this one. The safety car has been given the orders to pull off on this lap.
So then I would have been wobbling around. I would have ended up busting up the car. So we are going to go racing again here for the rapid conclusion to this one.
And the interesting thing here is the battles within the battles. Garth Tander had a 1.3 second lead over Jamie Whincup. Craig Lowndes was hanging on to his teammate. We know that Murphy and Ingle have been going at it for a long, long time. Now they're all bunched together again. Off the start we go. Down to turn 1. So this is the order. Tander, Whincup, Lowndes, Murphy, Ingle, Courtney, Rick Kelly, Dean Canto and Stephen Johnson, our top 10. Alan Gurr goes off on the right-hand side of the track. Two full laps to complete. Down at turn 3.